Here's a question. Let's try and play it at first. The user wants to create this kind of a split screen. It's really not a split screen, but let's just play it first. And we can see that it's a series of masks that get applied. All right, if we look at it more carefully, we can see that there's actually two of those masks that appear within each second. You move it a little bit. Here's the first one coming in. It's a moving frame, and we move it a little bit more. Now we can see there's a second one coming in, and it's basically just a little mask that reveals a portion of the screen. And each as you go along each section, there's within a 1 second period, there is two iterations. Okay, here's the beginning of 3. We'll do the second 3. So there's a second split screen. So basically there's within every second two of these split screens or masks appear on the screen. Okay, so now that we know what the supposed split screen is made up of, we can duplicate that in Filmora. And we'll duplicate it once, and then we will save it in a place where we can use it and reuse it. And to do that, we're going to just start a new project. So we'll do here File, New Project, and now we have a blank screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some colors to the bottom. We're going to go into Stock Media, and we're going to go in here in the library and down to solid colors, because what we need is we're going to use, rather than a film, we'll just use the base color for now. So we'll use this purple, and we want it to be exactly 5 seconds long, because that's how long the transition takes. And looking up here, we can see that is exactly 5 seconds. Okay, now what we need above that is a black mask that's going to block what's down below. So that we simply got that out of the colors. In the end, what we're going to be doing is we're going to keep everything but this bottom line, because this is where in the future you'll be putting your video or picture or whatever it is that you want to put underneath this transition. Okay, so the next thing we would do is we need to put rectangular boxes on here. And we can do that with this drawing tool right here. And if you don't have this drawing tool on the toolbar, maybe if I here drag this over a little bit so we can see the toolbar. If you don't see this on here, just simply go to the menu and look for the drawing tool. And there's the drawing tool. And if you don't have it up on the toolbar, just drag it up there and click save, and then you'll have it. All right. So what we want to do is we want to make 7 of those rectangles. And you can see there's these basic shape. We're going to start with the rectangle. And we're simply going to draw it from the top to the bottom. And we're going to do one initially. And we're going to give it all the attributes, and then we're going to copy it 6 more times so we don't have to fix 6 of them. So here's our triangle. The first thing we're going to do is change the color. And let's change the color to lime green. Now, if you didn't have lime green down here in recent, just click more. And it's in the second to last column. The top one is the lime green, and then you would get it. We also need to round off the corners. You notice how you had it rounded. So we'll go a full 90. And I think it's a little tall. And the scale is up here. And Y is the up and down. We will kind of just shrink it down a little bit. And we don't know what the X scale is going to be right now. One more important thing, though, and that is there is a little fine little white border here. So we're going to go down to where it says border, and we're going to deactivate the border. Now it's just this. And later on we will use Chroma Key, but we won't use that right now because we can't do that on the individual pieces. We can only do it on the collection. So we will do that later. Okay, so I just had to take a break in the recording here because I realized that putting the first one in the center is kind of mess up the keyframing and make it all more difficult. So we basically do want to make 7 of them. So at this point, the location isn't all that important, other than say that we really want this one to be first. So let's just replicate this, and then we can, again, replicating is simple. You could right click and you could say copy and paste, but we can also just use shortcut keys, Control C and Control V. And we have selected the track above, which is not numbered, and that means that anything that we place here in the future is going to end up right there. Okay, so we do Control C for copy, and then Control V automatically puts it up above. Unfortunately, our playhead goes to the end, and if we added it, then we're going to get a bunch of blank spaces. So easier just to click the home key, and then Control V, home key, Control V, home key, Control V, and you do this until the number here says 9. Home key, Control V, home key, Control V. Okay, we now have 7 of these, and we're going to, and number 1 is the one that's furthest over. All the others, of course, are stacked right on top of it, and we're simply going to move them over. So here is number 2, and we're going to move the X position to give us a little bit of a frame. And here is number 3. Move that so it's a little more like that. And then 4 like this. And we're going to keyframe this animation too, but we want to line them up first so we have the proper spacing all the way across. And let's see here, we're moving it and we're moving it. Okay, I may just speed up this alignment here because you don't, that's something you're just going to sit there and play with yourself. And obviously I don't have the correct alignment here at all because these will be over here. Now we do want to keep the ones on the edge a little bit from being right up on the edge because when we go to enlarger with the scale, then it scales on both sides, not just one side. So we decide what we do. I'm going to take the ones that actually this is the one. And we're going to see the line. See, like I have like a center. So start here, we can this time more or less, evenly spaced. We're going to but not our guidelines. So it's good. We want this one a little bit off of there, and something to that effect. Okay, you guys can always spend more time kind of laying it out, because once you make this once, you'll be able to reuse it over and over again. All right, so at this point, I've just selected all 7 of them, and I'm going to use the scale on the x-axis, and by doing it this way, I can kind of get a feel for it. Okay, probably if I do like 11. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. We've got a little bit of black flame over here, a little bit of black flame there. It's not perfect, but you can, when you make your own, you can make it perfect. Now, what we want to do is we want to set this as the final position. And we will start with the first one, and then we will copy that effect to all the others so they all stack up. All right. So we're going to move this one. We're going to use the position here. Again, we don't want to just slide it over because we could move it up and down and whatnot. And the first one is going to be done. Okay, I looked at the animation there on the sample video, and we saw that each transition took two half frames in order to get to the exact location where they're going to be. I didn't necessarily like that, but it's part of the animation effect of this particular project. So where we want this to be is at the 12-second mark. Okay, and we can do this right here. We can move the playhead just by typing in 12 right there. That will put us on the 12th frame. And we will put a keyframe here for all of them, and I'll show you how we can speed up this whole process here. So we're going to, that's in the transform section. And I should have selected all of them and then hit the transform. Now I have a keyframe at that position. We will move, I think I'll move just this one here first. And then we'll see what the number is. So we move it on the X scale and we're moving it to the left so it's just out of view. And the number there is 1422. And you know what? Let's make it a round number. Minus 14. Well, 22 is fine. Okay. We can now do the same to all these other ones. And we can say this, the starting position is going to be minus 1422. So now they're all stacked on top of each other. And we want them all to appear at intervals, okay? And what we can do is just move them like this and then grab the ones up above. Okay, getting a little more hectic here. But anyway, what we're doing is we're just moving each one to the next to the keyframe for the one below. And so this is quick enough. So this is our animation that we're building here. And there we go. Now if we play it, we go back here and we play it, we see got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's exactly the way the guy does it in the video. Now, we're going to go to the very end, and we use the shortcut key, keyboard key, Shift End. And that puts us at the end of the selected thing. And I selected the 5-second mark here. And I'm going to just do a cut, and I cut all of these off. All right. And there we go. So we'll play it one more time. And there are our 7 bars coming out. Perfect. In the end, we're going to want to fade it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the middle one, this one here, and we're going to scale it up. And I noticed that everything was like 1 second, you know, to complete the action. So we're going to put this at the 4-second mark. And we're going to put a keyframe there on the X scale. And then we're going to go to the end, Shift End. And then we're going to scale it so this guy blocks out all the others. And we do that just by doing the X scale. And you can see how he's blocking it out like that. And there we go. And then after that, it disappears. So when it goes beyond that, it will disappear. So again, let's just play it back. So we're putting out our different bars, and then we fade, and that's how he fades it out. He simply just stretches the middle one, boom. Okay. All right, that's perfect. So now we've done everything in setting it up. What we haven't done is we have not been able to set use the chroma key. We can't use the chroma key on these individuals because it doesn't have the color or the AI on the shape up here. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to make a compound clip. In other words, we're going to take everything but the bottom line, because remember, the bottom line is the replaceable item. That's where you're going to actually put your film, your photo, whatever you're going to place this transition over. Okay, so once we've done that, we will right-click and we will choose, or we could use a shortcut key, Alt-G, create compound clip. And we'll say this is our transition frame. Okay. Now that we have it in here, it still works great, just the same as it did before. The animation is the same. We baked that right in there. But when we double click on this, we double click on it and then we go into it. We didn't want to do that. But this is how we jump between the main timeline and the compound clip. So if we needed to make some adjustments in here, that's how we would get back in there. But that's not what we're talking about at this point. At this point now, we have AI tools because we can apply that to here. So we're going to use the AI tools. We're going to activate the Chroma key. And that's really the first of the options that you have here in this panel. And as soon as we activate it, because it's the same color, boom, we see the purple line that's down below. And look at that. I didn't do a good job there. I'm not going to go back and fix it. When you guys make your own version of this, you can spend all the time you want lining these things up. But there we go. This is exactly what we want. We have now created the basic animation of the transition. Okay, that just leaves one step, and that is, how do we make this a replaceable tool? First of all, let me just show you that. Let's go into a media here, and let's go ahead and import a just some kind of video. Here's a video. We'll open that up, and where did she go? It's right here. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. Oops, we didn't want to do that. That's for sure, and that's because this is turned on. So make sure we turn that off, and that's the magnetic line. Now it's like Ripple, only it's not Ripple. And now we can drag our video down here, and we want to keep our project settings in this case. And now we will play, and we can see that it works perfectly. Okay, you might say, well, why don't we just export this? Well, we want it to be replaceable. If we were to export it, then these green lines in here would be black. And there would be no way to apply a chroma key to those black little squares. So we need to save it with the transparency that it generates. So let's get rid of this, because there's only one place we can do that. Now you might say, well, why can't we just store it up in global media? Global media, you can only take like individual things. So if I exported this, I would have lost the transparency. But if so I can't stick it up in the global media because it's not an independent video. Right now, it's just the timeline project. Let's turn this off. We don't need that. But what we can do, there is one place we can store this, and that is in templates. So we will go into templates, and nothing else but what you want to save as a template can be on the timeline. There can't be anything else on the timeline other than what you want in the template. Because when you make the template, everything that's in the template gets repositioned back onto the timeline in the order in which they're, you could have multiple items on here. You could have a very complicated setup. You could save it as a template, and you could stick it into any other project in the future. And that's the beauty of the template. They load with every project that you start out. So we just simply click. We went into, for templates, we went into Mine. We went into Custom, and then we click the Save as Custom. And there it is. Now we can give it a name just by right-clicking on it up here and hitting rename, or we could have pressed F2 as a shortcut key. And then we'll say My Transition. I don't even know if I spelled that correctly, but that's unimportant. What I'm going to do is I'm not even going to save this. Wow, I'm just going to, if you look at it, it needs to be saved. It hasn't been saved. It's untitled. I'm going to start a new project. And we'll just say New Project and say Save. I'm not even going to bother saving. Okay, I got a brand new project. And I'm going to stick some media in there. I'm going to import that same silly video that I had before. Okay, I don't have to drag it down there. I can just say open. All right. And then we'll just stick it down there. Okay. Okay, we're going to keep our, I'm going to keep the project settings. Okay, now we want to have that cool transition, or as our poster said, his split screen. It's not really a split screen, but we go to templates, we go to mine, we go to custom, and there it is. And we put it right here. And what do we have? Well, we don't have it all the way away, that's for sure. So I didn't do a good job on that. But you can spend a little time making it better. Or you know what? Maybe we can scale it. We won't scale it here. What we will do is, again, I double-clicked on it, so I went into it. But I have it right here. I'm going to go back to here. What we want to do is get rid of this frame around here. And so we go to the video, we go to basic, and you know what? We can just scale it up a smidge there. There we go. All right. That's all we had to do to fix it. Now you might want to take this out, delete that, and then go up here. You can actually delete this, I think. No, you can't do that. That's not where we want to delete. We want to go into the templates. We're going to make a new template. So we go here, template, save as, and untitled. We'll rename it new template. Okay, there we go. All right, let's start another new project. File, new project. See, if I had saved it before, then I could have fixed that little issue. Okay, don't save. All right, now we got a new project. We're going to go into our media. We're going to import that same silly little file. And we're going to say, okay. We're going to drag it down to there. And we're going to keep our project settings. And then we're going to go and click on templates, mine, custom. And then we'll go to that new template. Okay, we'll drag that in right there. Hey, look at that. Now it actually fit in there. We don't get those silly borders. Let's see what happens when we play it right here. There we go. Look at that. It looks exactly like that guy's video. And there we go. It works perfect. And we can use it over and over and over with every project that we do. All right. I'm going to end the recording right here and put the project together.